Yo guys, what's up? Hey, welcome to Cereal Time with P. Wally. This is a project that I announced in 2020 during the pandemic. I don't know if you all recall when I took pictures with cereal. Cereal is one of my favorite things to enjoy to eat at night. And man, I just had a baby about a month and a half ago, and I felt like God was just tugging at me saying, hey, there's projects that you need to do. There's things that you said you were going to do, so be a man of your word. And I randomly text one of my good friends, Ricky, Abraham. I said, hey, guys, I need your help. Could we make this happen? This is the first one, so we don't know how it's going to go. It could be good. It could be bad. But, hey, if you guys like what you guys see, help me share it, like it. But let's get started. Hey, I have one of my best friends, not only a friend, but he's a mentor. He's a compadre. A lot of you guys seen him on my social media. We've done things together throughout the last 4 to 5 years or 6 years. So this is Pastor Abraham GUAJARDO Salinas.
What's up? Salinas GUAJARDO.
Oh, my bad. Not the other way around?
Yeah. It's not, everything for Salinas and then GUAJARDO.
So first of all, Salinas?
Yes.
And then GUAJARDO. Man.
Yes, right.
Well, I'm excited. Hey, cereal time. We were supposed to be eating the cereal. Let me just tell y'all what happened. But, we're vegetarians. We're on a diet right now. And
he said vegetarian.
We're staying away from any issues after this. So this is one of my favorite cereals. If you could eat cereal, what would be your cereal?
It'd have to be Reese's Puffs. The Reese's is that how you say it? Reese's Puffs.
Reese's Puffs.
Reese's Puffs.
But
the chocolate ones.
Chocolate ones. Have you ever
with oat milk? Oh. Oat milk, right? We can't have whole milk because then
whole milk gives you.
For my lactose people, lactose intolerant.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Put it in the comments.
I'm lactose.
No, don't put it in the comments. Not if you're single.
That's the reason why we didn't do a cereal time with actual milk. Because either one of us have a stomach issue. We're not going to say who it is. But I guess you could guess. But hey, Abe, I'm excited. This is the first episode. I'm like, who could I start this with? And the first person I thought about was you. We've done ministry together. We've done friendship. We've hooped together.
Yeah.
But we never sat down and actually talk about who we are.
Even cereal time. I've never sat down with you and do it.
I've never ate with you. The only thing I've eaten is little picanha.
That's it. Steak. Enchiladas. Pastor Priscilla's.
Shout out to my wife.
Wifey's enchiladas, which my wife's Russian, and she learned how to make. Come on. She said my husband wants some enchiladas, so
miracles happen. But hey, so who's Abraham? I know you've been in a few podcasts that everybody has seen, but maybe there's a few amount of people that don't know who you are. Where are you from? A lot of people know you as a pastor of Houston. Explain where that came from.
Yeah. Well, first of all, rip to Kobe. It's been 3 years, bro. R.I.P. 3 years. You and I are basketball fans. That's how we met. Playing basketball. I was making all the shots. You were missing all of them.
Okay. He was a little aggressive. I'm like, this is Christian. We're Christian.
No, but we miss Kobe for sure in the game. But, man, thank you for having me. I'm excited. I'm watching you now, and I'm like, wow, he's a father. Pastor Wally's not only a pastor, he's a father now.
I'm a whole father.
And that's been so cool to watch. Man, I think one of the most important things has been how you have been behind the scenes with me before any of this was a thing, right? 5 years, almost 6 years ago now. And, man, I'd more or less want to hear from you and what you have seen and developing. But in short, I just, grew up in Houston, and my parents are pastors, been serving them for a long time. And honestly, I just kind of, 2 days ago, I was looking at life insurance. Come on.
Oh, come on.
Any old people in the house? Come on.
You need that. You need the life insurance.
All the young bucks are like, what are you talking about? I was looking at life insurance, and it said 33 years until retirement. I have 33 years left until retirement. So I started to think, what have I...
You have to work a lot.
I know. And I started to think, I'm 34 now, so let's say, I've lived the 33-year mark, the halfway mark, and I started to think, what have I built? What have I done? And it was just like an internal question, and I've done a lot of things, right? I've gone to the police academy and the real estate school and music school, Bible school. I've done education, but like, as far as, it was like 5 things.
Man, you've done a lot.
I'm on another one right now. I'm going to share later. But I started to think, what have I built, right? People build businesses and things and houses and tangible things. And I started to think, I don't have anything tangible. I really don't. I don't think. But then I started to think about all the relationships that I have in Houston, Texas, from police officers to doctors to construction workers, you name it, to political people. I mean, I can pick up the phone and ask for a favor. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying it because my investment has truly been in people. I always say that, but it's been like, let me make time for this person. Let me be the best version of myself to them, serve them however I can. And hopefully they'll do the same for me one day when I need it, if I need it.
That's good.
So, but all that to say, I do want to build something tangible. Now, looking at 33 years more, if that's my retirement age, in short, the past 33 years, if I can sum it up, it's been investing in people. And that means meeting them where they are, regardless of their past, of their religious, decision, just the human person. I've served them well. Some of them have said, hey, because of your example, I want to follow Jesus. What does that look like?
Wow,
Some of them have said, I don't want Jesus. Cool. How can I serve you in a different way? So just meeting people where they are, and dude, what a blessing, right? I don't think a lot of people can say that they have investments and money and all that stuff is great, but investments in people never grows void. I can always pick up the phone. So if I can sum it up, it could be that. But you tell me, you remember the day when we met, and I really wasn't doing any of this. I was just a low key kind of
just drumming.
Yeah, just drumming.
You were drumming.
Weren't even preaching.
You were drumming in the Woodlands, driving all the way to 610 and
That's right.
was 610 and
From the Woodlands to where I was living at.
Mom's church.
Yep.
Drumming.
Irvington, 16 in Irvington.
I remember. Hey, full disclaimer, we might be wearing the same outfit. We didn't plan it. He just looks, he looks slimmer than I do, of course.
Yeah, right.
But it's crazy to see it, to see what you've become over the past, few years. But I guess I have a question, because I think people that don't know you feel like when you post something, when you do something, they might see it as boasting or something along the line. And I feel like people have misunderstand when you post for specific reasons.
That's right.
What would be one of those reasons you post things in order for people to know what you're doing in the city?
Man, my biggest thing is making the most out of a scenario when I post. I'm trying to think about a specific one, but it could be, I don't know, if Wally says, hey, Abe, I have this idea about real love. I have this thought, and I'll say, okay, if you're having me be a part of it, I'm going to do it to my full extent, and I'm going to do it how Abe would do it. So real love is Wally's conference. That's his baby. But I'll post it like it's mine, and I'll boast about it because I'm like, I'm at Real Love. I'm here. I'll bring a camera guy with me because I'm so excited. And I'm like, how can Abe be the best? How can I present something the best? So Seattle Fest with Lou, Lou, that's his baby.
Shout out to Lou.
Right. But I'll interview him every time.
Yeah.
Tell us about Seattle Fest. And people are like, wait, is it you? Is it Lou? Well, it's Lou's baby, but I help him push it like if it's mine. So and again, it's investment in people, because I'm like, people are following me at the end of the day, and they want to see me present something. So that's why I'm very loud about, what I post. And at the end of the day, I love that behind the scenes, these people that really know me, I know the heart behind it. I know why he posted what he posted. So it's been cool.
Follow-up question with that, and I think it's a good one. Man, how have you managed fatherhood with that kind of ministry life that you've done? Because I feel like you're constantly busy, but at the same time, I know the moments when I FaceTime you have two kids crying in the background, and I'm like, well, how does he still manage to hold on to the pressure of being who you are outside of the walls, but then also being a father at home?
I bring them in the picture. I boast about them. If you see my Instagram, it's at least 5 to 10 pictures of them weekly, and I love it because I'll go to these leadership events. And the last leadership event, you noticed I had Zoe with me because Alina works in the emergency room, and I dropped off my son with my mother-in-law. So I had to take baby girl with me, and I was on stage with it. But to be honest with you, that's my edge. My edge is fatherhood. My edge isn't he's the coolest guy. He's boastful about good quality pictures. My edge is behind the scenes. I love my kiddos. I love my wife. Awesome. So I like to bring that into those rooms because it feels awkward. People are like, dude, we want to hear from you. It's kind of distracting that you have your daughter with you. And I'm like, forget me. You know, you should pick up the fact that your daughter should be with you too.
Ooh,
Where's your
good.
daughter? You know,
Ooh.
she should be here with you, not somewhere else. So I think at the end of the day, I consider that my edge, and I just gave you guys my secret sauce.
Man, so now, hey, all the pastors are going to be carrying the babies.
Dude, that would be a crazy image. I would love that.
But I think it's something that, you know, me and my wife, we talked about it before having a baby Jay. We were like,
Yeah.
man, he's coming into our life. Of course, we have to adapt that he's a baby, but
That's
also
right.
at the same time, we can't allow our ministry to stop.
That's
Because
right.
He's a blessing.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
And I remember my mom telling me not too long ago, she's like, you just have to adapt that it's not just about you guys no more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, you've been a part of it. There's a lot of young married couples
Yeah.
that are getting married in this year.
That's right.
Last year they got married, and man, what would be one of your biggest advice as they go into a new season? And maybe if you're not married, maybe maybe you're going through something right now that you might be like, man, I kind of relate to that.
Well, you know, my advice, you can throw it out the window, but I'm going to give you my advice. And you asked me for my advice.
This is for your advice.
And generally it doesn't relate to everybody, but for somebody it might help. But anytime you step into a new season, you should always prepare for that season prior, right? Whether it's a year, 6 months, 2 years before. Before I met my wife,
Where'd you meet her?
at Christ for the Nations in Dallas.
Shout out to Christ for
But
the
to be
Nations.
honest with you, prior to that, I had this habit of giving my attention to girls all the time. And it wasn't that I did stuff with these girls, but I would like texting them. Sorry, I just spit. So I would, you know, the attention part. So I'm like, that's a bad discipline.
And then with my cereal.
That's a bad discipline that is not going to benefit me in marriage. So I canceled it out. I stopped it. So I got rid of my phone, got rid of social media, and for a year and a half, I was single and I was just focused on God. I said, God, if you eventually bless me with a wife, I'll be ready for it, because I disciplined myself in a certain area. And then I met Alina. It's been awesome. We're almost going to go on 10 years being married.
Wow, 10 years.
10 years. So, you know, at the end of the day, I always say, you know, prepare yourself before you go into something. Before I had my son, I started to prepare myself mentally, emotionally. What is it going to look like to lead a young boy, to lead in this world specifically? So just preparing yourself in every way possible, you know, before you step into the season. I forgot the original question. What was the question?
No, you're good. You're good. Keep going.
Yeah, well, that was it.
We like them off-topic things, but I think you just said something that, you know, I'll be honest with people that don't know. You just said you prepared yourself mentally before having Zion.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you were talking about the young couples getting married. Yes.
But we'll go back to that. I don't want to miss this one, because I feel like, you know, Serial Time is going to be a moment of honesty, and I think for me personally, I think the first month of this having our new baby, man, it took a hit on me.
It's hard.
Like
it's hard.
I was borderline, and I was telling my wife, I've never felt this way. My bad.
Yeah.
But I was borderline, man, like going into depression, because
It's a big change.
it was a shocker.
It's a human.
I'm like, I have a baby here.
That's right.
I'm trying to manage my life.
And you've brought someone else into it.
And I'm like, how am I going to take care of him? And I feel like, man, when you just said it, it's like, I didn't do that. And I think that's the point that I'm like, man, I wish I would have done it.
Yeah.
Prepare myself mentally of saying, hey, it's not
Yeah.
about you no more.
That's right. That's right. It's unselfish. And you got to think unselfishly, just like marriage, right? And as believers, we're called to constantly sacrifice for our families, for our kids, for our legacy, for our future. And if you're not a Christian and you're watching this, and it doesn't really apply to you with what we're talking about, but if you're a Christian, then sacrificial living is the theme. Sacrificial living is our lifestyle. If you do not have sacrifice, then I don't know that you're a true Christian, because Jesus ultimately left this earth at 33 years old, and he tells God, is there any other way to do this? Because he enjoyed life. He enjoyed his friends. He didn't want to die.
Like,
That's the savior of the world saying, I don't want to go.
Like, do I have to?
He says, let this cup pass from me. I'm so depressed. I'm sad. I'm bleeding blood because I don't want to die this way. And he did it for humanity. He did it for the fact that we now have eternal life in him, right? When we die. So at the end of the day, I think more than anything, sacrificial living has to be the theme for everything we do, the way we approach life, the way we have our kids, the way we're going to raise our grandchildren and help our kids. So it's a constant theme. And if you don't have that thought process, it can be difficult, especially in this day and age, right?
Yeah, especially with Gen Zs, with everything that's coming behind.
I'm going to do me.
I'm going to be me. This
Work
is
out
me.
my body. Yeah.
But man, it's so true. It's like, sacrificing those small things, in order to see the bigger picture. And I think, behind the scenes, I've seen you sacrifice, your time, your friendship. There's been times people hurt you and you still love them the same way.
Yeah, amen.
And I think that's something that, I want to touch on that for a moment. Just how do you love somebody when they hurt you?
Well, you'll learn that quick in marriage. I mean, going back to, you were talking about, young couples getting married, and I kind of got sidetracked a little bit. But what I was wanting to say is I prepare before I go into each season. When I got married to my wife, when we first got married, I told myself I'm going to give her my undivided attention for 1.5 years to 2. Because I wanted to get this practice. So go to work, go home, we made brownies, we watched Shark Tank, and we went to bed.
That's a Hallmark movie.
And we did that.
The Guajardos in Houston.
We did that for a long time, and Alina loved it, and we built each other's, we built confidence in each other. We learned each other. We saw each other sad, mad, happy, applying for food stamps, whatever, needing help, which we did, by the way. We applied for all that. We needed help at one point because we were a young married couple trying to figure this thing out. We didn't want to put a pressure on anybody else. We figured it out. Me and Alina, we figured it out together. That was the best thing we could do. Is
you said we.
Me and her.
A we thing.
Yes, we. Not our parents, not anybody else. And Alina makes fun of me now, and she says, I didn't know I was only getting Abe for 2 years. Because right after that,
ran an Abe.
My life started racing. So it's been awesome. But now we've been able to just figure out what's a good moment. We're intentional with each other, but I prepared for those moments, and it's been awesome to see the fruit of that. But again, going back to sacrificing, it's a constant sacrifice. When someone hurts you, you can look at them through the flesh eyes and say, forget you, I'm done with you, and I'm going to move forward with another person. Or you can say, how does God see me when I fail him daily? We feel God daily. Well, we wake up and God's like, new mercy for you, puppy. New mercy for you, mommy, if you're a girl, right? New mercy for you. But God, yesterday I saw that thing I wasn't supposed to see. New mercy today for you. Oprah. One for you, one for everybody. So to think that God has graciously given us mercy, I'm like, who am I, bro? I'm a little human in this little city trying to do my thing. I'm going to try to put on the filter of God and say, bro, you as a human, you're incredible. You hurt me, but I really see you as a son and a daughter of God, and I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to put the pressure on you and act inconsistent with you. And one day I told you I loved you, and now I'm telling you that I hate you. Like, that's so inconsistent. Imagine if God was like that. We'd be doomed, bro. We'd be doomed. And we're not God by any means, but at the end of the day, we are called to share the example of Jesus, and share Jesus to those that have hurt us. So,
dude, that's just so awesome. Those points, I love the fact that Serial Time is going to be a place where I want to have conversations of just not, the happy moments,
that's right,
but also tough moments. And you just touch when you first got married, it was tough.
It's tough.
It was like
two different cultures.
2 different cultures.
You too, same thing.
Sort of not trying to be prideful, but I was like, no, I decided to get married. My parents, they live on their own house. They have their own address. I'm going to rent an apartment. Man, I was getting paid $8 an hour when we first got married. So there's hope behind everything, but there's also a process of life. And I think, for you, your process has looked like, from police academy to
real estate school.
What else?
Prior to that was music school. Music degree. Bible school when I was in high school. Yeah.
You graduated, 3 times from Bible college?
2 times.
Oh, no, he has 3 diplomas. So I'm like, I got to question it sometimes. But, man, I'm like.
It's awesome.
But who's Abe? Okay, now, putting everything aside, who's Abe outside of ministry? What do people don't get to see?
Man, I love just sitting down watching basketball. I love playing basketball. I love moments when my good brothers and friends invite me to eat at their house. Come on. It's been a long time, Wally and Priscilla. But anyway, those are the moments that really hype me up when I'm amongst family, and it's not even blood. It's more like people that do life with me, have the same values as me, that have the same future goals, I get so excited and I take over and I start talking a lot because I'm loving the moment. That's my way of telling people I love being here.
So if you're quiet at a place,
nah, you don't do that to me.
So now, if you ever invited if you ever invited Abraham to your house and you see that he's very quiet,
no,
I'm messing with you. But I've never seen you quiet. I've seen you thoughtful, like where you're kind of like just in deep thought. But I've never seen you show up to a place and just you get on to me about that,
right?
Every time we've gone together to eat somewhere.
Well, Wally got that hood thing, he's just making sure everybody in the room.
Every time. No lie, guys. Every time
you should zoom in on that, my eyes, when you do that.
Every time we leave a place, he's like, "Hey, bro, you look like you weren't paying attention. And you look so disinterested." I'm like, "No, I'm just trying to get a feel for the people." So I'm like, so if I ever ate lunch with you, don't think I didn't like you. It was just I was just trying to get a feel.
You're thinking, you're processing.
Yeah, because we've been in ministry for so long.
That's right.
There's people that have been hurt. People have hurt us in the past, and it's like, we've seen it all. So I'm like, that's why sometimes I'm like, well, hold on, let me put a wall, but I'm still gonna love a person.
That's right.
But going back to you, like back to Abraham, basketball. We know you love basketball. Big Rockets fan,
bro. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't watch rated R movies, and that's not to bash anybody.
Could we touch on that? I remember when you first mentioned that to me, I thought you were lying.
Yeah.
And you were like, "No, I really don't." And I was like, but how have you done live? You've always done like that?
Yeah, I've always sacrificed something, right? I've always sacrificed something. So in this season, it looked like that. Because I'm like, one day I'll tell my son, like, "Oh, you shouldn't talk like that. You shouldn't see that." And then we'll watch it. So subliminally, we're allowing it. And then he'll say, "Dad's inconsistent. Why would I listen to him?" If my dad, my father, natural father, and even godly as our father, if he was inconsistent, I would question some things. Well, you're doing the opposite of what you're telling me. So, someone said, "Well, how are you going to present the kids to the real world?" I'm like, well, I'm going to present it to them. I'm going to talk to them about cursing. I'm going to talk to them about sex. I'm going to talk to them about they ain't going to hear from nobody else. And they going to be on game. They going to know. Trust me, they going to know.
They're going to know. That's that north side.
I'm going to let them know. But
they're going to know. They're going to know.
I ain't going to put a rated R movie and then have to say, "Papi, well, they're just kind of messing around, but they're not really married." And I don't want to do that. I'd rather just him for me. Hey, be careful with this situation. So, yeah, no rated R movies. I'm a basic dude, bro. When I go home, I'm just watching NBA, and if the season's not up, then I'm not watching anything. I'm reading the Bible. When I'll try to read a book, if it's not super short, I'll get so distracted and think I'm wasting my time. I should rather read the words that have power. So I go back to the Bible, bro, every time.
So the book has to be what, like,
bro, super short.
Like if it's too.
Because then I feel like I'm wasting my time. I don't know why my brain's wired that way. Where I'm like,
what's the last book you read?
The last one was the one that I posted about was Don't Move My Pulpit, or Who Moved My Pulpit. It's a good book about change, leading through change and doing it with honor. It's a really good book. Nobody's read it.
That's good. Yeah. I was sharing with the leadership a few days ago, and we talked about honoring, and it's hard to honor. It's hard to honor a vision when it's not your vision.
That's right.
Because sometimes you're like, well, I want my vision to.
Yeah, God showed me. Yeah.
But it's like, now we approach it to the sense of, I'm going to honor this vision, so that way when it's my time to shine.
That's right.
When I have a person behind me that has another vision,
yeah,
they're able to be aligned with me. So I feel like, man, that's a good book. I never. Well, read
chances are, if you're already sensing God's given me a vision, you're probably going to sing your pastor. God's going to probably call you one day, but don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun. It's not saying that you're not called and that God's not showing you things. Journal. Start to write these things down, because chances are that when you do lead a house, lead a church, lead an organization, if you did something sus to your leader, they ain't gonna do it to you. I've been here for 34 years, bro, and I've seen it every time. If you do something suspicious while you're under leadership somewhere, they're gonna end up doing it to you. So better is, let's do my best to honor as best as I can and be submissive. At the end of the day, our flesh wants to be on top, but Jesus says, approach it with humility.
Ooh, that's good.
Humility. And we're like, no, but I got it. Okay, well then you're going to have to sustain it. So it's just hard.
You hit the wall.
You hit the wall, and you end up, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I love what you just said, because I know you personally, and You've always journaled. Is that something you've always done since you were a teenager, a kid, a young adult, or youth?
I definitely mental journaled, right? So like I would go to a Gigi Avila. If you don't know who that is, that's like it's a big. He used to be a bodybuilder and he was an evangelist. And
OG.
He's almost like the Billy Graham for the Spanish people. And I went to a Gigi Avila conference growing up. I was 7 years old, and I walked in and I had this feeling of one day I'm going to lead people, and I'm 7.
7?
I'm 7 years old, and I had this thought. So mental journal, and I started to act like I was leading that event. I acted like I was so there were people walking in, and I was pretending this way. Come over here. Hey, how you doing? My sister got there late with my mom, so I sat them down. Over here, and I don't know what got in me to pretend like I was running that event. So mental journaling has always been a thing. Yeah, exactly. So 7 all the way, I was taking notes. I would see leaders and I would say, that was suspicious. He got in the car with a woman that's not his wife. That's suspicious. Okay, I won't do that. Oh, that was suspicious. He got into the office and there's no window in there and he's talking to a woman that's not his wife. Suspicious. Oh, that's suspicious. Pastor said he raised money for benches, but we haven't seen new benches.
Oh, they're all broken.
So mental notes, journaling, right?
And then WD-40 on the chest.
Until I turned 21 or so, I started actually journaling and just writing down what I had seen and heard growing up. And then just, bro, I have journals and journals now. I have so much journals.
Dude, we're going to have to do a book about your life.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. I'm about to have to land it.
I've never talked about any of this.
My producer's saying I have to land the boat or the train, whatever we have. But dude, I'm excited. Man, thank you for taking this time.
Cereal time.
It was just something that I love. I love cereal.
You got to bring Baby J for a little bit next time. Whoever you interview, you got to bring Baby J.
And carry him.
Just so they can see him.
See my baby. But man, any last words in a minute, 30 seconds?
No, just keep going. Have dreams, but be flexible.
Have dreams, but be flexible. That's the words of Pastor Abraham Salinas GUAJARDO. Hey, man, if y'all like what y'all saw, like I said, this is our first one. If you like it, help me share it, like it. Tell me who you want to see next. We'll try to reach out to people. Maybe we could get, Pastor Tim Ross in the room. Or for sure we need to have Lou from Sierra, so we could talk about Sierra Fest. But other than that, man, love you guys. Thank you so much. Like I always say,
love y'all.
Wash your hands.
H-Town.
H-Town.
Let's go.
Love you guys.